Hello all, today we are discuss about the topic user interface component. The simplest form of AWT component is the basic UI component. You can create and add this to your applet without needing to know anything about creating the containers or panels your applets. Before you start painting and drawing and handling the event is already an AWT container. Because an applet is a container, you can put other AWT components such as UI component or other containers into it. In this section, you will learn about the basic UI component, that is label, button, checkbox, choice, menu and text field. In each case, the procedure for creating the component is same, as you first create the component and then add it to the panel that holds it and at which the point it is displayed on the screen. To add a component to a panel such as your applet, for example, use add blank method. This is the method to generate processing for creating the component. GUI are potentially very complex entities because they involve the large number of interacting the object and classes. Each on-screen component and window is represented by an object. If the GUI is to perform the sophisticated tasks, the object must interact with each other and call each other's method, which raises tricky communication and scoping issue. Another factor that makes the writing the GUI challenging is that the path of the code execution becomes not deterministic. When a GUI program is running, the user can click any of the button and interact with any of the other on-screen component in any order. Because the program's execution is driven by the series of events that occurs, we say that the program with GUIs are event driven. Let us consider the user interface command, that is a public void int curly bracket, that is button b is equal to new button is equal to OK add p. Then component is divided into the many types, that are container, button, label, canvas, checkbox, text, choice, scroll bar and list. Container include the window and the panel. In window include the frame and dialog, while the panel include an applet, and the text include the text field and text area. These are the basic components that are used as a user interface components. Then we discuss one by one. First one is a label. The object of the label class is a component for placing the text in a container. It is used to display the single line of a read-only text. The text can be changed by a programmer, but a user cannot edit it directly. It is called a passive control, as it does not create any event when it is accessed. To create a label, we need to create an object of the label class. The label is a string of a text that is displayed on the GUI. The label exists to provide the information and are not generally clicked to perform the action. Labels are often placed next to text fields so that the user knows what should be typed into the field. A label is represented by a JLabel object, which can be constructed with this parameter specifying the label text, that is JLabel label is equal to new label in bracket this is a label. So the label is formed with the name of this is a label. This is the label class declaration, that is a public class label extend component implement accessible. Then next topic is label fields. The Java AWT component class has the following field. First one is static int left, that is it specifies that the label should be left justified. Next one is static int right, it specifies that the label should be right justified. Next one is static int center, that is it specifies that the label should be placed in center. These are the label fields. Then next one is a label class constructor. First one is a label, it constructs an empty label. Next one is a label string text, that is it constructs the label with a given string left justified by the defaults. Next one is a label string text dot int alignment, that is it constructs a label with the specified string and the specified alignment. These are all about the label class constructor. Then next one is a label class method. First method is void set text string text, that is it set the text for the label with the specified text. Next one is void set alignment int alignment, that is it set the alignment for the label with the specified alignment. Next one is string get text, that is it get the text for the label. Next one is it get alignment, that is it get the current alignment of the label. Next one is void add notify, that is it create the peer for the label. Next one is accessible context get accessible context, that is it get the accessible context associated with the label. Next one is a protected string from string, that is it return the string the state of the label. This is all about the label class method. Then next one is a method inherited, that is the above method are inherited by the following classes, that is the java.awt.component and java.lang.object. These are the method inherited by the following classes. Next one, let us consider the label example. We are creating the two labels, that is the first label and second label. The window consists of the two name, that is the two label, that is the first label and second label. Basically the label it is created by using this parameter, that is a j label. Label is equal to new label, in bracket we get the name, that is the first label and second label. This is a program which is used to construct the parameter for the label text, that is creating the object of the frame class and the label class. Frame f is equal to new frame in bracket label example, the label L1 and L2. Initializing the label, we get a name for the label 1 and label 2, that is the first label and second label. Then the location for the label is a set of the bound, that is a 50, 100, 130, that is a 50, 150, 130. Adding the labels into the frame, we get a add L1 and L2 in the frame, add label L1 and L2 in the frame. Then setting the size for the visibility of frame and layout, that is a 400, 400 for set f set layout, that is a null, and f set visible is equal to true. Then we get the output in the frame consisting of the two label, that is the first label and second label. This is the example of label. Then next one is user interface component is button. The first component we'll examine is the button. You most likely know that the button is an on-screen component that can be clicked to cause an action. The button are represented by the JButton class. Each JButton object can represent the one button on the screen. If you want to 3 button, you must create the 3 button JButton objects and place them in your frame. Then we get a 3 button, that is the first button, second button and third button. You can construct a button either with a no parameter, that is a button with a no text, or with a string representing the text on the button. Of course, you can always change the button text by calling the setText method on it. You can also set the other properties of button, such as its background color. The button is basically the control component with a label that generates an event when push. The button class is used to create the label button that has platform independent implementation. The application results in some action when the button is pushed. When we press a button and release it, AWT sends an instant of action event to that button by calling process event on the button. The process event method of the button receives all the event, then it passes an action event by calling its own method, process action event. This method passes the action event on to action listener that are interested in the action event generated by the button. To perform an action on a button being pressed and released, the action listener interface need to be implemented. The registered new listener can be received the event from the button by calling add action listener method of the button. The Java application can be used the button action command as the messaging protocol. Then next one is a button class declaration, that is public class button extend component implement accessible. This is the button class declaration. Next one is a button class constructor. First one is a button. It constructs the new button with the empty string, that is it has a no label. Next one is a button string tag, that is it construct a new button with a given string as its label. These are the button class constructor. Next one is the button class method. First method is void set text string text, that is it set the string message on the button. Next one is string get text, that is it fetches the string message on the button. Next one is void set label string label, that is it set the label of the button with the specified string. Next one is strings get label, that is it fetches the label of the button. Next one is a void at notify, that is it creates the peer of the button. Next one is the accessible context get accessible context, that is it fetches the accessible context associated with the button. Next one is a void add action listener, that is the action listener one, that is it add the specified action listener to get the action event from the button. Next one is string get action command, that is it returns the command name of the action event by fired by the button. Next one is action listener get action listener, that is it returns the array of the action listener registered on the button. Next one is a t get listener, that is class int listener type, that is it returns an array of the all the object currently registered as a whose listener upon this button. Next one is a protected string param string, that is it returns the string with the represent the state of the button. Next one is protected void process action event, that is it processes the action event on the button by dispatching them to a registered action listener object. Next one is a protected void process event AWT event, that is it processes the event on the button. Void remove action listener, that is the action listener, it removes the specified action listener so that it no longer receives the action event from the button. Next one is a void set action command string command, that is it set the command name for the action event given by the button. Let us this example represent the button example, that is we are generating the button, that is the click here by using this program, that is create instance of frame with the label frame f is equal to new frame button example. We are considering the frame with the button example. We are giving the name to the button, that is we are giving the label to the button, that is a new button is equal to in bracket click here is the label to the button. Set the position for the button in the frame, that is a b dot set bounds, that is a 50 100 80 30. Then next one is add button to the frame, that is a f dot add b, that is set size layout and visibility of the frame, that is a f dot set size 400 400. Then f dot set layout null, f dot set visible true. Then the output gives is it generate the frame with the label name click here, it generate the button with the name click here. Thank you guys. In this lecture we are discuss about user interface component, that is the first one is label and next one is button. In another lecture we are discussing the remaining component. Thank you.